Hey everyone, welcome to today's class. In today's class, we are going to look into front-end versus back-end web development, what they are, their differences, different languages, and their frameworks. So a total breakdown of what they are and their differences, right? In our last class, we talked about web development. If you have not seen that video, please go back and watch it. It's going to be very helpful for you. Go back and watch that video. And if you are new here, this channel is dedicated in teaching web development from scratch for free. So if you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notification bell so that you'll be the first to be notified whenever new video drops. And also don't forget to follow us on Facebook and TikTok at the same handle, Codewithkhrist. As I have always said, this channel is going to be very invaluable to you. You are going to learn a lot. If you have been aspiring to become a web developer, either a full stack web developer, a front end web developer, a back end web developer, this channel is the right channel for you. So make sure you like, comment, and share. Sharing is very important so that you get to other people who are also aspiring to learn a tech skill. All right. So in today's our lesson objective are we are going to understand what front end is, what back end is, learn their key differences, explore languages and frameworks, see how they work together, and learn about full stack development. Right. So now, what is front-end web development? So front-end web development is a process of building the user-facing part of a website or application, focusing on everything a user can see and interact with. It focuses on the client side, which runs in the browser, everything the user sees and interacts with, focuses on the UI UX, deals with design, layout, responsiveness, and animation, right? It focuses on everything the user can see, everything the user can interact with. You go to a website, you can click a button, you see a background color, you see images, you see header sections, and all of that. So this is what a user directly interacts with, right? So now, front-end languages and frameworks. First of all, we have the HTML, which means hypertext markup language for the structure of the HTML, the skeleton of the HTML. And then we have CSS, which means cascading style sheets, is used for styling and layout of a website. Styling in making it more beautiful, making it more, unique and pleasant in the eyes, right? Then we have our JavaScript, which is used for interactivity, is used to add more functionality to a website. And then we have different JavaScript frameworks or libraries like React, Angular, Vue, Next.js, Solid.js, Ember.js, and all of that. We also have CSS frameworks like Tailwind CSS, Bootstrap, Material UI, and Foundation, right? So now, next, what is back-end web development? So back-end web development is the creation and maintenance of the server side of an application, handling all the parts users cannot see, such as the database, the server logic, and APIs, right? Ranging from the server side, which runs on the browser, manages and stores data. It handles business logic and security, handles API, and enhance performance and scalability. So this is the back end. So the back end is the behind the scene of the application. The user cannot see it. It handles the server side. It stores data. Just like you log in, let me use Facebook as an example. You create an account on Facebook. Your data is being stored somewhere, right? So that when next you come, you just log in, right? It handles the business logic and security, making sure that the app is well secured, right? From hackers, right? And it also handles API and ensures what? Performance and scalability. So now, back-end languages and frameworks, we have Node.js. Node.js is a JavaScript runtime, right? And the framework is what? Express.js or Nest.js. Next language, we have Python, and the framework is what? The Django, Flask, Fax API, and all of that. So we also have Java, The framework is what? Spring Boot. We also have PHP. The framework is Laravel. We have Ruby, Ruby on Rails. We also have C Sharp. The framework is ASP.NET Core. All right. So now, how front end and back end work together, right? Number one, user interacts with front end. Yeah, directly interacts with front end. The front end sends API requests, and then back end processes the request and queries database, and then back end sends response, and then front end updates UI with a new data. Let's take for instance a login. Let me use Facebook also as an example. You when you log into a Facebook, you input your username and password. This process, and then you of course log in. When you click login, it goes to the back end. It sends a request to the back end to verify, right? So when it has verified, okay, we have this username, we also have this password, and then login successful. That means it shows you your profile, right? But when there's an issue, maybe the username is incorrect, then it will tell you invalid username. But if the username is correct and then the password is incorrect, it will tell you incorrect password. So you see that there is a relationship between the back end and the front end, right? The user interacts with the front end, and then you can send requests from the front end to the back end. So now, what is full stack web development? So full stack web development is the practice of building both the front end and the back end of a web application, right? So it involves the two. So if you are proficient in full stack web development, which is the front end and back end, you are a full stack web developer. Yeah, but we also have what is known as web stack, right? So what is web stack? Web stack are collections of software components that work together to deliver a web application. This stack typically include an operating system, a server, a web server, a database, and a programming language or framework. Different combination of these components form various types of web stacks. So each with its own what advantage and purposes. Just like an aligned or well structured path in programming, right? So if you do this this particular language, you follow this particular framework, and then for backend you do this particular language, you are a particular web stack, right? So that is what he's talking about. So we have different types of web stacks. One, we have main web stack. So this main website, this stack leverages JavaScript throughout the entire application, so making it efficient for full stack Java development. You can see, so the main here, it means you are proficient in MongoDB, which is a NoSQL. You are proficient in Express, which is a JavaScript or a Node framework, and then you are proficient in Angular, which is a JavaScript front end framework, and then you are proficient in Node, which is JavaScript runtime. So if you are proficient in all of these, you are a main stack developer, right? So secondly, we have main stack developer or main stack development, right? So similar to main, uses React for framework for front end, offering a component-based approach to UI development. So ranging from MongoDB, which is a NoSQL, Express, React, and Node, right? So if you are proficient, if you walk through this path, starting from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then you learn React, and then you move to backend and learn Node, Express, and MongoDB for backend, you are a main stack developer. So next, we have LAMP Stack, a popular open source software bundle used to build and deploy dynamic websites and web applications, ranging from Linux, Apache, which is the web server, MySQL database, and then the P could be Python, it could be PHP, it could be Perl. So depending whichever one you learn. So if is either okay for the front end you learn HTML, CSS, you know, and then JavaScript, and then for back end you can learn, you know, PHP, you can learn Python, you can learn Perl, whichever one, and then database MySQL and all of that. You are you are a LAMP stack developer. So next is MERN stack, you know, another JavaScript centric stack. MERN utilizes Vue.js for the front end, known for its progressive adoption and ease of use. You know, MongoDB, Express.js, Vue.js, and what Node.js. And lastly, we have what serverless stack. You know, this approach utilizes cloud computing services like what AWS, Lambda, Google Cloud Functions, you know, to manage server-side logic and infrastructure. It often involves using APIs, serverless function, and static site generators like what Jamstack. So that is it for front end and back end, right? So um I know you grab something for this class. In our next class, we talk about our setup and then we go into coding proper. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And also follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Codewithkhrist. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more tutorials. Stay tuned for more classes. Don't miss any class. And if you have missed any class, make sure you go back and watch that tutorial. Thank you.